moving forward. It is really time to move forward, especially with volunteering in Europe, because of the specific situation. So basically today with us, we have the representatives of the city of Varaždin. We have the deputy mayor, Sandra Malenica, and we have Mirna Kezele, head of the administrative department for social welfare, local self-government and civil society from the city of Varaždin. We invited them not only because our institution has been founded by the city of Varaždin, but because the city of Varaždin has played an essential role, and is still playing an essential role during these pandemics, because it is coordinating civic protection headquarters in our city. So I would like to invite now our Deputy Mayor, Sandra Malenica, to address you several words. Sandra, please.
Yeah, so hello everybody, nice to meet you. In the normal circumstances, I would hear applause when coming to stage. I could say welcome to Varaždin, stuff like that. But of course, the circumstances are not normal. And I'm very glad that our Pučko otvoreno učilište from Varaždin is doing this project, especially that it's doing with you. I think it is very important to talk about volunteerism to make it better in some way. We have talked earlier how much people from Varaždin and Croatia are very keen on crisis situation. The bigger the crisis, we do better. Of course, no one hopes that crisis will move forward, but hopefully your project will move forward and that you will have some great conclusions, and maybe on our next meeting we can all move forward to each other. So hope you are all doing well, and I'm wishing you a great day today, even if it's online. So thank you. Bye.
Thank you very much, Sandra. And I would like to invite also Mrs. Mirna Kezele, who is dealing with the civil society in our city of Varaždin. Mirna, please.
Hi, everybody. I would like first to congratulate all of your partners for getting this Move Forward project, especially Alana and our public Pučko otvoreno učilište in Croatian, or Public Open University, People's Open University, and hoping that you will we all will get good activities during this 18 months duration of the project. Secondarily, when we were thinking about volunteering, I would like to emphasize youth in these activities and the challenges they are facing during this COVID time. So I decided to talk about civil organization, that is youth civil organization, which is very active in this field volunteering, which is very motivated to raise volunteering in our city. That is okay. Lana said that it is P4 Youth Club, but officially it is called VUK, or in translation it is WOLF, this NGO, youth NGO that is dealing with volunteering and also dealing with youth, because it is youth and NGO, and this youth club, P4, this noticed raised of youth depression during the COVID time, and due to due these challenges times, they spread their activities by doing the workshops which were and are dealing with this challenge, dealing with this depression of youth during this again COVID time and during this online education, and they produce this workshops. They call it Čeličana, or we should say that it's something like steel strengthening, and they are talking and dealing with about mental health of the youth and helping youth generation to, especially these one, they are first coming to secondary school, so they are facing for the first time with online education. They are not knowing their colleagues in face like we used to start our secondary education. So this is the youth NGO that is dealing with this kind of problems and will deal with this kind of problems. And I hope they will deal it well. And also this youth organization and NGO, I mean this book, or as I said, Youth Club in Pet4, was and is still facing these volunteering activities during some time in the past, and now they are progressing and put it on some higher level. Okay, to make it statement final, I should say I wish you well work whole of the during this month and during this session today, and hope that we'll all stay healthy. Nice to meet you all. That is all. Thank you very much. I should call Lana to proceed with the program and presentation further forward. Thank you very much.
We are applauding. Thank you very much, Ms. Deputy Mayor and the head of our administrative office for civil protection and civil society. We really wanted you to meet them because we are really trying all together to do great things in the city of Varaždin. And actually, as our next colleague from Varaždin, Mr. Budanovac will say, the volunteers from our city have been the first ones in the city of Petrinja and in Glina after the earthquakes. So basically our city is very famous for volunteerism. But I would like to move forward now, and I think that we are going to have constantly this notion move forward on this project. So basically it has been a great choice of the title of the project. I would like to move forward with the presentation on the project. I hope that you see my presentation. If not, just please give me a sign or something. So basically, we agreed on a project that will last 18 months, hopefully. Why hopefully? Because due to the pandemic, so we are going to see in which way we are going to be able to proceed with our events. You know that this is also a mobility project, and that basically we should meet in our respective partner countries, and we are supposed to be in Rome in the month of May, which would be very, very beautiful, and we would like to meet our colleagues live. But if it's not going to be possible, we are going to proceed with online activities. However, we should be done with the project and have certain outputs until August next year. As you know, the total budget of the project is 95,760 euro, and we are doing it within the program Europe for Citizens, Strengths to Democratic Engagement and Civic Participation, and it is a civil society project. Our partners, which I would like to greet very much now here, being with us on board, are of course our partner from the Varaždin County, Red Cross for Varaždin County, Ljudska Univerza Ptuj from Slovenia, which is actually like a tandem organization like ours for adult education and lifelong learning in Slovenia, with whom we already did lots of projects. Thank you very much for being on board with us. Then also we would like to greet our colleagues from Sremska Mitrovica, from the Regional Development Agency of Srem, Ruma, and tourist organization of the city of Sremska Mitrovica. I would also like to thank you very much for being on board in several projects already with us. So basically, this project from the Europe for Citizens say that we are creating networks and that we are actually moving forward together, and we are developing new projects. So hopefully our new partners within this project from Italy, from PROGEU, Progress in European Union, and from Bulgaria, Institute for Sustainable Business Development and Education, are going to move forward in the next projects with us too. So greetings to all of you, and thank you very much for helping us coordinating this project. Why, just a second, I cannot change, okay, I did it. What is the aim of this project? So basically today we talked to our local journalists, and they asked us, what are going to be your activities and what is your focus? Well, our focus, and this is already the second project that we are having this focus on, is actually enhancing the volunteerism relating to civil protection, social inclusion, culture, education, and employment. Why? Because these are the areas most tackled by the pandemics and by the crisis in general. Why do we want to do this project and do this project activities? Especially, why are we dealing with civil society organizations, since we are not one? But we are an educational institution, and our task is to promote education and to promote better well-being in our society. So basically, if we want to ensure better life conditions, we need to also enhance the capacities of the civil society, which are the core, actually one of the core elements of each democratic and developed society. However, these pandemics, and in this project we are tackling very much the issue of the COVID-19. Even the civil society organizations had to reinvent themselves in order to meet citizens' needs. And this is why we plan to organize a set of events such as panels, conferences, educational events, and of course many other types of activities. In order to get a certain output, we would like to create a sort of a material for educating volunteers, especially the young ones. So basically, we are also going to tackle the intergenerational solidarity issues, how the youth sees the way to help the elderly, which we saw that actually in this pandemics has been the most endangered group of population. We are planning to have 5 free-day events in all our partner countries, starting with Croatia, that's with our city of Varaždin. So we are planning the kickoff event in Varaždin, and hopefully it will be able to be live, and that we can all welcome you in our beautiful city. But this event is the preparatory meeting. So basically tomorrow we are meeting our partners where we are going to discuss the ways and the methods we are going to conduct this project successfully until the very, very end. The key concepts, I already said many things about them, but the key concepts of our project are is the education for volunteers during COVID-19 pandemics, but also addressing all other crises that are possible. We heard previously that we also had an earthquake, so basically tackling two types of crises with volunteers. You are going to hear our practices. Developing actions for civil society, and we are going to show the volunteers and the coordinators of volunteering actions how really they can improve their actions. We are also going to tackle the role of the Europe in the pandemics and the core values. Have they been lost, or have they been improved or tackled on? Then volunteering to address the needs of persons with disability and also elderly people. So we are going to tackle the issues of intergenerational solidarity and what the impact of the COVID-19 has been on that element. We are going to also promote culture in the pandemics and see actually how the culture has reinvented the events during the pandemics, and how actually, especially young people, volunteered in many cultural activities in order to tackle the needs of the society. Also, we are going to introduce some new concepts for volunteering, especially in the term of design thinking. This is going to be an innovative element, and we are very much looking forward to this activity. And of course, we are going to see how the civil societies that are included in the volunteering actions are functioning since the COVID-19 started. Our main focus will be on the solidarity concept. So volunteering cannot go without solidarity. And of course, how the EU supports the communities, our communities, in overcoming crises such as pandemics, but also other types of crises. The results that we are expecting in this project are, of course, innovative educational materials and approach in volunteering, gaining new competences to plan and manage and also volunteer in actions during COVID-19 and other crises. We have to emphasize that. And also to better understand the EU agenda and its values in practice. We are expecting 318 project participants. This is also, of course, from the project application. However, we do expect about 200,000 to be on board with us because we are across Europe, the European Union. We are going online, and we are going to invite many other citizens to join us in our online activities. We already welcomed our representatives of the cities. So basically, I can just say in the end that let's all move forward with our next activities. And I would like to thank you for listening to me, to my presentation. I would also like to give a word to Patrick Galeski, who you also learned from. He is one of our experts, and actually will be the coordinator of the preparatory meeting. So basically, thank you very much, Patrick, for being with us.
Thank you. I'm just across here from Lana. I think everyone can hear me.
Sorry, we cannot hear Patrick.
Me neither.
Okay. I'm just wondering. Okay, yeah, I hope that's okay now. Sorry about that. I just wanted to mention that we had two other speakers. We have Violeta Vidacek and Nebojša Bujanovac. So Violeta is from FOI, and she's going to present about FOI's volunteer activities, and Nebojša will talk about the Red Cross's actions in Petrina, the earthquake affected region. So before we get on to introduce our partners to the project, one of the things I wanted to touch base with you on is just one of the main things that we want to discuss in our project, and that is to have people learn more about the role of the EU in volunteering and in civil society actions. So this is often something that is fairly, let's say, not well known in Europe and among all of us. So what I'd like to do now is introduce a quiz. It's a survey. So there is no wrong answer, but we're trying to gather opinions and as well inputs from all of our participants today to make sure we can organize our future activities in the right way. So I would like to now share my screen. So the first thing here, okay. Okay, Sunčica, can you allow me to share screen? Okay. Okay. Right. Can you do it? Okay. Yes, now I can do it. Okay. All right. So I think everyone can see this screen now. So you might notice in the at this website, it's called slido.com. So I'll just put this briefly in the chat. So it's slido.com. And you'll notice here that there's a section that says join as a participant right here. So for our first little survey here, I'd like you to enter the code 669753, like that, and that should be entered in this area here. Okay. So once you enter that, we should all see this screen here. Okay. So is everyone able to, I hope everyone's able to see this. So these are some questions that we have right now. So this is the first question that I have here, and it's about just basically what we think of volunteering. So you're able to select one answer in this case. And here it says here, concerning the role of the European Union in promoting and supporting volunteers, the following describes my level of awareness and knowledge. So either I am very aware of programs and policies, I'm aware of some programs and policies, I know very little, I don't know anything. So please just choose what answer you feel is best, and then it will come on the screen. So I'll maybe just give you a moment here. Okay. Okay, I see that there's only 9 people here for now. We would like to have everyone participate in this survey. So we kindly ask that everyone participates in this so that we can get as much data as possible. Okay. You see 11. Okay, 22 online, so. Okay, all right, so now we'll show the results, what we have. Okay, so what we have here is that a lot of people that are in attendance today are aware of programs and policies to support volunteers. Okay, now I'll move on to the next. Oh, there's more coming in. So in this second question, we're asking, in order to support volunteers and citizen-centered actions during the pandemic, the EU should work in the following way. So you can choose up to 2 options. So the first one is they should provide additional funding to cities and towns, etc., and other organizations that rely on volunteers. They should provide volunteer-based organizations guidelines that will support them to lead actions that address the needs of citizens during the pandemic. The EU should develop tools that connect volunteer-based organizations. And then the last one here is the EU should not do anything and allow local and regional governments to do what they think is best. So you can choose the top 2 options that you feel is best. Okay, we have 14 responses. Okay, pretty good. Okay, it's pretty good. All right, so I see there's a couple answers. Oh, 17, so 5 people missing. Okay, I guess some people are not available for this or don't want to answer. That's okay. So here's the answers of the concerns. So we have here in top spot additional funding, tools that connect volunteer-based organizations, and then the other answers are much lower. So we have top 2 answers here for the poll. So this is just one thing that we're gonna that we really thank you for your information here on this part, because now we know which way we should target our activities and which focus areas. So we see here that funding opportunities is a big thing, as well as more information about current tools that connect citizens and volunteer-based organizations. So for now, I thank you very much for your inputs on this part. And we'll continue on now with the second part of our preparatory event. Okay, thank you. Okay, I'll stop sharing. Okay. Okay, I'm still here. I stopped the share screen, so all right, I'll just mute. Oh. Okay, sorry. Okay, there we go. So now we're moving on to the presentation side of things. So what we'd like to do on this side is to present our partners and some of their current activities regarding volunteering and civil society actions. So to begin with, I'd like to start off with our partners in Serbia. So we have Bojana Lance from Ruda Srem. So Bojana, maybe I'll start off with you and have you just introduce yourself, as well as perhaps the tourism organization of Sremska Mitrovica.
Hello, everybody. I was late 15 minutes, but sorry for this.
Oh, I can't hear. Sorry, Bojana. Oh.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
I do. Okay, but I think we have a bit of an echo. Just to see.
Now?
Yes.
Now, okay.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. I was late 15 minutes, but sorry for this. My name is Bojana Lance, and I'm from the Regional Development Agency of Srem. This is a regional agency in Serbia. Our focus of work is predominantly on the projects that are funded from the European Union, and this is how we got involved into this project. We have a very rich experience in Europe for Citizen projects, especially in partnership with Pučko Učilište from Varaždin and from many other partners that I see here, and I'm glad for this. So in this project, we are a partner with the tourism organization of Sremska Mitrovica. Again, in the past and previously, we had plenty other projects with them, and they're also experienced in this topic. In this project, precisely, we wanted to involve more volunteers and to extend our network of cooperatives, especially for the future projects and for some new and fresh ideas concerning volunteering and young people. So we decided together to involve the youth office of the city of Sremska Mitrovica. And today you will hear more about their work. They're very active. They're of course very young and active and enthusiastic, and I'm very grateful to them for getting involved into this project. It's very refreshing to talk with young people who have new ideas and who are very eager to work. So I will leave the floor to them, and they will have the presentation today for you. Thank you.
Hello, can I share screen now?
I think you can, Chedo.
Can you see the presentation? Yes, of course. Okay, just a second. Well, now formally. Hello, dear friends. My name is Cheda, and today with my colleague Theodora, we will speak more about our volunteering. Some of you remember us from the last project we participated in called Get to It. But to refresh your memory and reintroduce ourselves, we are one of many volunteers in our city youth office. And in the last project, we talked and presented not only the youth office, but also the volunteer work during the beginning of this COVID pandemic. Well, we actually ended the previous presentation with statement that if need, sorry, can you hear me? Because I have some here.
Yes.
We can hear you, Chedo.
Okay, sorry, I forgot to turn on the camera. Well, we have echo. Well, we actually ended the previous presentation that if we need to come again to the call center, we could be there in only 1 hour. So this was true. And besides, we opened the call center again. We also get with it to do the vaccination to help our medical staff to easily go through the vaccination.
On 19th, sorry, there's an echo. On 19th of January, we reopened the call center with much more knowledge and many more volunteers than in the first call center. This time, the call center had much more work to do than in the past. Instead of 3 phone lines, we had upgraded to 6 phone lines that citizens could call and get informed and sign up for vaccination. The vaccination sign-up process itself is very simple and easy. We fill out the form with the person's information, address, phone number, ID number, and write which vaccine they would prefer to get. On 17th of February, a vaccination checkpoint has opened in the city's sports hall. And the city officials have cleared out the needed space in the hall so people could come and get vaccinated. On that checkpoint per shift, we have 5 doctors, 2 rooms for vaccination with 4 nurses in each of them, 6 volunteers for filling out the consent papers with personal and the desired vaccine informations, 8 more people directly connected to the database, and 4 security guards. The whole vaccination process from walking into the hall to walking out takes from 5 to 20 minutes depending on the crowd.
Well, in comparison to the call center, where we do the most of our work to the phone without any face contact with other people, now here we have to make sure that all people come in and get vaccinated, don't have fever or maybe COVID. The work is much more extensive because since we're working with people in person, one day we had to record of 861 people in the hall. On an hour basis, we have around 180 people vaccinated.
During these 76 days, sorry, that we spent in the hall, we only had 3 people that couldn't receive their vaccine because they had a light fever. The people that get vaccinated can choose between 4 vaccines, Sinopharm, Sputnik V, Pfizer, and AstraZeneca. The doctor's recommendations are that older people and people suffering from chronic illnesses are better off to receive Sinopharm since it's a bit weaker than the rest. The city's medical staff, police officers, teachers, and others had a chance to get one of the first doses of a vaccine of their choice. Volunteers and staff in the hall took their chance to get vaccinated right away. They could choose between all 4 vaccines, but most of the medical staff chose Pfizer. Other than our citizens, we have people from different countries come and get vaccinated in our city. Medical staff from Bosnia and Herzegovina were the first to come and get vaccinated, and they were so pleased with our organization that they recommended us to their friends and family, so even more people came to us for their vaccines.
Well, I wanted to say some words. I took a vaccine, I took Sinopharm, and here in Serbia we have a problem with our people because they think that the vaccine is not good tested yet, or it's too, how to say it, it's only a year needed for the vaccine. So I think that's something insane because I trust the doctors and the others who invented the vaccine. So I think that everyone should get a shot. And of course, if you have some trouble in your country, you can come to us to take a shot. And I wanted to show you our database that volunteers enter data, and we have. Sorry, I created that database, and it's the easiest way of data. It's the Excel data sheets, and here we have a live view of our information, how much people entered the vaccination point, how much people revaccinated, and of course we have here the day from starting the vaccination. We have here a chart of how much people under 55 years get vaccinated today, between 45 to 64 years, and older than 65. We use this chart for analytics, statistics, and other. For example, it is used for it is well used for our medical staff because they every day must to send their reports to in Belgrade, so they use easily and they can know how much vaccines they spend today. And just a second, I'll show you. Oops. For example, here you can see right at the moment we have vaccinated 50 people, and here is the region. It means that all people from region comes to our city, and right now the number is 7. We have at the moment revaccinated 96 people, and for example we can see here we have by vaccines we have used 1 Sputnik V, 33 Sinopharms, and 0 Pfizer and AstraZeneca. We can hear on this chart, for example, how much people took the second dose, here the blue line by date, of course, and how much people took the first dose. And everything this, it's made by me. And of course, the first thing is to be usable, how to say it. And here you can see this page. At the moment, volunteers in the hall. I'm right now at home, but at the moment we can see how volunteers are entering the data. So we can see, for example, if we need the requirements for the vaccines, we can enter a date, and if I set the date of vaccine, I get the number of required vaccines in 3 weeks, for example, and this program helps to our medical staff. So I'm really proud that I can be a part of that, and I'm thankful that they give me a chance to be with them. So I think that's all. If you have some questions, you can shoot. I'm ready to answer. Thank you for your attention. And that's all.
Chedomir, thank you very much, and Biana as well. Thank you for your presentation about the activities in Sremska Mitrovica. This is really, really good, really inspiring to see that you're making a lot of efforts with the vaccination. I would like to leave the questions to the end, let's say. Now I'd like to move on to our partner from Bulgaria. That's the Institute for Sustainable Development and Education. So Krešimira Bakarjeva. Did I say that correctly, Krešimira? Okay, I see that you're still on mute.
Yes, it's very difficult, Bakarjeva.
Yes, sorry,
yes.
Yeah,
No,
it's a tough name.
Okay. Krešimira is okay.
Okay, so so yes, do you have a presentation?
Yes,
Okay,
just to share my screen.
Okay, go right ahead.
It's okay now? It's okay? Yes? Okay. Hello, my name is Krešimira Bakarjeva, and I represent Institute of Sustainable Business Development and Education. That is mainly a project and training-oriented organization founded in Sofia, Bulgaria in 2008. In our work, we promote innovation and quality in formation of innovative approaches and future skills development for managers and other professionals, non-formal and informal learning methods linking with adult education and training, and more particularly development, validation and assessment of training concepts and methodologies. Also small business management and strategic development with main focus on the joint capacity building. Our main intent is to bring the worlds of training and work closer together and create a strong connection between knowledge and learning economy frameworks, and prepare employers, employees, and educational organizations in the field for the future. Such possible partnership that we develop and startup community projects is university SME startups cooperation ecosystem. STAPCOM is an environment in which entrepreneurship is supported and promoted by a team of key actors that playing a vital role as a training provider, inspirational models, mentors, possible inventors, network facilitators, and other feeders. The model is designed to guide new startups across the EU in order to foster entrepreneurship and mostly in young people. But today, when we talk about the professionalization of the voluntary sector, some concerns about the core values of the sector has arisen in our organization. There is a strong argument that by investing in education and training, those who manage volunteers and volunteering themselves benefit from such investment. And our research evidence also points to investment in two main areas. So this is volunteer management and education and training for volunteers. The increasingly professional nature of personnel employed in the not-for-profit sector is also a challenge that volunteer organizations have to address. This means new challenges in terms of management of human resources. That is why our work is also concentrated on designing tools for volunteers to observe and manage changes in their everyday work using, for example, weak signal detecting methods, future skills in volunteering skills concepts, such as design thinking concepts with validation tools for the learning outcomes, and also helping volunteers to interact, creating spaces for volunteering in cities, and facilitate learning processes that focuses on users. In our practice, to document the results in such training, we use a GROW model that helps volunteers to deepen the learning and network with others. This model takes goal setting to a higher level, and you know that when set goals are inspirational and very challenging. This is very complex and also very easy tool that allows to set the goal and to plan the way how we are going to achieve the goal, to create a plan for action, and to work how to find motivation. This model gives us also a possibility to understand where we and also our organization we are working for are. So if we feel safe and controlling the comfort zone, this means that we do not start new projects, just make operations, do not change processes, and do not introduce new products. We work in the same way and follow the current patterns. So we think that if everything is working quite well, so we do not need to change anything. Or we are in the fear zone of always find excuses and lack of confidence. In this zone, we can make critical revision of our daily operations, set up innovation goals, design our innovation process, and start making visionary decision and looking for new projects. Learning zone is where we deal with challenges and problems, and where we acquire new skills, start new innovation projects and programs, and train the people in the organization and ourselves in such innovative way. But when we start to think in a scalable way and make integral innovation transformation in our organization, we are in the growth zone. In this zone, we redesign the mindset of our staff and ourselves with innovation programs and projects using different innovation strategies and innovation models. And in this zone, also our dreams, our goals that we set in the first step in the GROW models become alive, and we can realize them. As you can see all the time, I talk about motives, motivation, that is very important and very needed for us, especially in this complicated situation, and not only. Most people said that the main reason to participate in volunteer organization are desire to help and to do something useful. So doing good, expressing support for or influencing local or national issues are the key reasons for becoming involved in volunteer organizations. Being aware of people's different motives is important, especially in this COVID situation. So when people find useful and inspiring opportunities to engage in activities, they are committed and also they are very satisfied, and both parties will benefit. That is why today I decided to present the Octagon model in volunteer management that I presented recently in our last webinar on the VoloExpo project. And we are involved as one of the leading partners. And the interest to this model is huge. And we are now on the testing phase, looking for interesting results from volunteer organizations. That if you're interested, I could share with you in the later stage, probably in our meeting in Rome, hopefully. I will briefly present the model. This is there is a various motive dimensions of the diamond model. As applied to organization, and that is make suggestion is 4 dimensions. You can test this model yourself by evaluating where you stand with respect to the different dimensions and see what kind of patterns emerge. For example, getting and giving. In this way, organizational activities offer various opportunities for people to promote important things and ideas and develop their skills. This is receiving, and people can succeed in this by lending their own skills and time to promoting common causes. This is a giving. So receiving and giving are the most common reasons for people to participate in organizations. For those motivated by getting, it's good to provide opportunities to influence issues that are important to them, to fulfill themselves and to develop their skills. Those who are interested in making the world a better place should be offered opportunities to do so. So even if a little at a time, addressing local problems, that often mobilize more people than we expecting. The next example is continuity and quest for novelty. So people's desire to change activities, their lives. So the dimensions of continuity, a quest for novelty shows the diverse motive of volunteers in relations to safety-seeking behavior. They are willing to work with familiar things and attitudes toward new changes. Proximity and distance. Some people want to volunteer alone and some in a group. So the dimension of proximity distance show whether volunteers want to have people around them or whether they want to work alone and flexibly. So the last is the reflection and action. So the dimension of reflection and action can be taught as showing the volunteer's interest in advocacy, this is the reflection, or organizing things such as events, this is an action. Advocacy is often discussion, reflection, analysis, and negotiation that takes the form of speaking, writing, and thinking. As you can see, you can use the model to estimate what motivates your volunteers individually and as a group. So when you know the motives, you need to think also of the ways to motivate each volunteer further. And also you need to discuss motivation at many times, as motivation changes because of time, age, life situation, etc. Each volunteer has their own individual motive, so that is formed by past experience. This is a life situation, relationship with organization, their values, emotion, their expectation in helping others, their future expectation. And this requires close cooperation among at least 3 players involved in organizations that could be sending, hosting, or supporting organization, community, and volunteers. Thank you very much for your attention. Благодаря in Bulgarian.
Thank you very much for the presentation. It's definitely an interesting model. I've never seen that before, and we look forward to learning about it. So there will be an event scheduled in Bulgaria, probably in Sofia. We're not so sure quite yet, but
when you want.
we will learn more about that in the future events. Okay, now we're passing it to our Italian partner. That's Progress in European Union. So, Gianmarco, how are you today?
Fine, thanks. I hope everything is going well. Also there.
So, I guess you'll have a presentation.
Yeah,
ready,
I have a presentation.
Okay,
so okay, I can share. Okay.
All right.
Yes, I will make a brief presentation. I will not take so long time. I present briefly the organization that I represent today. It's PROGEO, Progress in European Union. It's a think tank that has been created in 2014. And then I had in 2016, the organization was officially constituted. So we are a young organization made by youngsters. So these are our main values. What we do, our mission. We work on 4 different axes: information, training, support, and development. So we base our activities on these 4 core axes. And we are essentially focused on the role of the Europe. Briefly, before Lana presented the role of the Europe during the COVID situation, during the pandemic. So we also analyzed the main drivers that affected also the idea of Europe between youngsters. So you know that there are problems related to the fake news, for example, and we know that particularly in the COVID situation, this fake news can be dangerous because linked to the health situation. We worked essentially for the development of the Italian system in Europe. So present the Italian best practice. We also have best practice in Italy, not only difficulties, to work together with our partner. So for us, it's the first time in a Europe for Citizens project, but we can we have already noticed that there are some interesting situation all around Europe. There are we cannot be compared, for example, to the Red Cross of Varsden. We are a different organization, but I think that we had the same problem to replan the activities due to the COVID situation. This is what we do, the editorial project. So the publication of articles about several topics, you know, the European policies, the youth, the environment. So everything that has been indicated also in the new agenda, the new 70-year agenda of the European Union. And particularly, we will focus in the next 2 years, this from an internal point of view, on the Green Deal and the digital plan, the digital strategies. We know that maybe the first thing that everyone had to face was the change of the operativity. We had also training course, for example, in the field of the employability, of the youth employability in presence, so face-to-face meeting, and we had to replan. We had to replan them because we have to face to fulfill the needs of our beneficiaries. So it's something that I think is common to every organization that is present today. I speak about the training, so I move forward to other core activities that maybe is more interesting to this situation. As you know, we had developed so SOS third sector. So it's something that we propose to our beneficiaries, to our clients, to also prepare to adapt their activity also to the new situation provoked by the COVID. We work on social aspect, on legal aspect, because we also have to present what are the main risks. For example, if we think about the privacy of the participants on online activities, so what are the activities that the organization have to take care? And then we are also a technical support for what in Italy is the Universal Civil Service, but is the national activity that can be compared to European volunteer service, so the European Solidarity Corps. So it's the Italian access of this action. And then we have also to face the problem related to the enterprises. We know maybe these are the main affected by the COVID situation, because maybe the main that suffered also the restriction of the pandemic. So we supported the enterprises to adapt their activities so we can prepare, for example, digitalization for practices for the enterprises, or also help young employers that want to build a startup, for example, or to prepare something that can be useful to answer to respond the needs dictated by the COVID, by preparing a business plan so we can support the private entities and also public administration. So we know that maybe the main role, these are some parts that we had during the years. we know that the main role may be linked to the policy, is related to the public entities. They had to know how to tackle the problems that we are living. We entered in a stakeholder table, we can say that, to present the civil society role in the Lazio region. So something related to the specific region where we have the legal seat. So to debate about the next future. We are in this roundtable with other civil society organization, also to take advantage, for example, of the EU Next Generation Fund and the recovery plan, for example. These are what we essentially do in our work. And I just put brief note, so a few notes about what we learned about this situation. The pandemic has accelerated essentially many processes. They are something that in the process of becoming almost already done, but the COVID situation forced everyone to accelerate the rethinking of their activities. So it's strictly linked to this is that nothing can be built in an emergency. I think that it is necessary to post the basis also during the ordinary activities, because we don't know what can happen in the next future. Lana at the beginning talked not only to face the COVID situation, for example, rethink activities, but also the next crisis. We know that maybe in the next future there will be other kind of crisis, not only health crisis. We can think maybe environmental crisis, or as you know, in Croatia there are also problems linked to the nature. We know that the earthquake made some damages, and I think that the intervention of we had the Red Cross in today was not so easy, also due to the COVID situation, because there were the risk of to take the virus, and so we have to keep attention to the next years, because I think that maybe this will be considered as normal, this situation. I give back the floor to you, Patrick. So for me, it's okay. If there are any questions, I will be glad to answer, but I will not take so much more time.
Okay, thank you very much. Very diverse activities, to say the least. So now we're passing the floor to our Slovenian partners. So LUP, Ljudska Univerza Ptuj. So we have David and Petja with us today. So Petja, David, I'll pass the floor to you. I'll allow you guys to introduce yourself and your activities.
Thank you very much. I have a permission to share my screen, right? Yeah. So greetings from Ptuj. First of all, I would like to thank the Pučko otvoreno učilište for invitation to participate in this beautiful project. The Ljudska Univerza Ptuj, or as we translate it, is Public University of Ptuj. We were established by the municipality of Ptuj for the implementation of which is in the public interest. So our adult education at Public University of Ptuj consists of 6 fields. We have formal education programs from primary school, secondary school to faculty programs. And we have non-formal publicly recognized educational programs non-formal education programs such as computer courses, trainings in the field of legislation, communicational skills, foreign language courses. And we are also organizing some vocational trainings such as forklift operator, project management, accountant, and we also have vocational training for butchers. We are currently enrolled in the 6 national projects and in 13 international projects. Majority of them are Erasmus Plus, and we have also one Norway grants in which we are the lead partner. Just small fun fact, Ptuj is the oldest city in Slovenia, so therefore we are looking forward to host you in our beautiful city, and we are also famous for the carnival, which is one of the biggest carnivals in Europe. So this was the first part of my presentation. In the second presentation, my colleague from humanitarian organization Rotaract Club Ptuj, Matis Gaiser, will join me in the presentation. He will present the role of their organization and their activities. And we also collaborated in the December's project with this humanitarian organization. So this would be all regarding the first part of the presentation, and now we are moving to the second part of the presentation. Just a second. I hope you can see this second presentation. Yeah, okay, Matis, here you go.
Thank you, David, for your wonderful introduction. Hello, everyone. I am Matis, a member of Rotaract Club Ptuj, a humanitarian organization, which is a member of the Rotary family with clubs all over the world. Rotaract clubs strive to bring together people ages 18 and older to exchange ideas with leaders in the communities, develop leadership and professional skills, and have fun through service. It's a really great way to do charity work, learn to organize and run our clubs, manage our funds, and plan and carry out activities and service projects. Now, our club, the Rotaract Club Ptuj, has 15 members who live, study, and work in Ptuj, and together we help to better our community with different projects and events, such as the Easter and Christmas workshops for children, fundraising events such as the Chestnut Picnic by the Lake of Ptuj, Martinovania, Pancake Day, and most importantly, the pre-Christmas event Božično novoletno obdarovanje, or the Christmas Gifting Project, which is the biggest humanitarian event in the region for socially disadvantaged groups. 2020 marks the 5th year that Rotaract Club Ptuj, with the help of Leo Club Ptuj and the local news and radio station, organized this event. And as I said before, it is our biggest project with which we help over 50 families and over 100 children, enabling them to have wonderful and peaceful Christmas holidays. Now, our work starts with collaborating with the local social work center and the local schools, which provide us with a list of families in need of help. Then we gather financial resources, mostly through donations from companies and individuals. In previous years, we also prepared our own products, such as Christmas cards and homemade cookies, which we then sold on stands in various local shopping malls. But on these stands, we also had workshops for children where they could create different things, such as Christmas cards and make paper Santas and whatever they wanted. But unfortunately, because of COVID, we had to cancel that part of our project. And instead of that, we focused on using our online platforms more efficiently. This year, we also utilized donations through mobile messaging, which also helped us receive more donations from very generous people who would, if not for the lockdown, visit us at our stands. Now, with the gathered donations, we buy and pack together food and hygiene supply packages for the families. And every child also receives an individual present based on the letters with wishes that they sent to us. Prior to COVID, the delivery was made by us in the most Christmassy way possible, where our members dressed as Santas and his elves and delivered the packages and gifts to every house and every child individually. So it wasn't just an event for us, it was also a fun experience for the children as well, since Santa visited them at their home. This year, unfortunately, we had to adjust. So Santa took a little break. We still delivered the packages and presents, but we had very little interaction with the children. Nevertheless, it was still a fulfilling year, and the letters of gratitude from the families we received in the weeks after Christmas really warmed our hearts and gave us new momentum for the next year. Thank you for your... Thank you.
Thank you very much, Matic. So this would be all from Slovenian side. Thank you very much.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much, David, Petja, and Matic. I heard it right, I hope. I'm also involved in Rotary. I'm aware of their activities, and yeah, it's a very active organization throughout Europe. So before we move on to the next section, perhaps I saw a couple hands up during the presentations. So if you have any questions for our presenters, for our partners, feel free to ask away. Okay. All right. Yeah, alternatively, if you do have a question later, if something comes to mind, you can just write it in the chat section, and we'll get to that later on. So, okay, so now we'll move on now to our local presentations that we have. So we have two presenters from Varaždin, and to begin with, I would like to introduce Violeta Vidacek from the Faculty of Organization Informatics. And hello, okay, I see you're on mute.
Thank you very much, Patrick.
No problem, no problem. Are you on your own, or are you with your colleagues as well?
Unfortunately, our dean was not able to join us, but she sent a lot of greetings, and also our president of Center for Volunteering, Professor Sandra Lovrencic, will not join us, but they prepare presentation together with me, and we would be more than happy to share that experience with you. So thank you very much for the opportunity.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Feel free to start when you like, and you can share your screen with the rest of us.
Okay, thank you. I will try to do that right now. So please, can you just confirm? Can you see my presentation, please? Okay, thank you very much. So first of all, I would like to thank the organizing committee and the project committee, because it's really a big, how to say, we're very honored to be here, because our Center of Volunteering and Humanitarian Work is dealing with the projects for last 10 or 11 years, and we are also very happy to have opportunity for sharing information. Like I mentioned before, the co-authors are Dean Professor Nina Begicevic-Redep and president of Center for Volunteering, that is Sandra Lovrencic. So very briefly, we are from Faculty of Organization and Informatics, University of Zagreb. We are working with some of you on some other projects, so I also am very happy to see other familiar faces. Our university is very old. It's from 17th century. It has approximately 75, nearly 80,000 students, and Faculty of Organization and Informatics is one of 33 faculties or colleges, and we are here in the northwest part of Croatia, for those of you who are not from Croatia. So what are we doing? We establish a volunteering center at higher education institution, and also the content of this presentation will be the network or possibility for networking, particularly during challenging situations in 2020s, caused by earthquake, by COVID, by online classes and other challenges that you already mentioned and we already know. So Center for Volunteering and Humanitarian Work or Charity Work was established, as I told, 10 or 11 years before, and we're dealing with different local, national, and international projects. Why? Because we try to help local community, first of all, and also to show our students what will be their real life one day. So they have opportunity to develop their social competencies, their communication competencies, social awareness, and things and competencies like that. So very, very important part is to see the attitudes of our students, the attitudes of our local community members, and to see where the needs from those groups are overlapping. So what can we do together? How can we help our local community, and how can we show what is real life, and how to show what is going on in our surrounding? So I didn't mention our students are in the field of communication and education, sciences, and also information systems as well, economy and entrepreneurship at the end. So how did we start with volunteering? It was very, very funny story. We got some students from America coming to Madrid in 2010, and they asked where can they volunteer. Why? Because they can't get the scholarship, for example, a scholarship, if they don't have 100 volunteering hours. So we were a little bit in panic what to do. It was 2010. We didn't know a lot about volunteering, and we just called our city government and asked for help. And it was amazing, quick information from Mr. Pavetic, who was leading at that time the education center, and he said, so you can participate in sport for people with disability at our Sloboda Center here in Varaždin. So we said, oh, that's amazing. And then we started to research about international projects, legal issues, code of volunteers, and so on and so on. And during all those years, we developed a lot of projects. Some of them are predominantly focused to our local community, and some of them are focused to international network. For example, our students are very, very much involved in social supermarket, something like food bank. So they are collecting supplies and sharing it with people from low social income. Then Festival of Science for little kids who are coming to our faculty. We have a lot of connections with Croatian Paralympic Committee, Croatian volunteering, and so on and so on, blood donation in Red Cross and things like that. But we also have a lot of international connections. For example, our students are volunteering in Chicago. This is El Valor project, where they are working with students with disability and children with disability from local environment. Then a lot of projects with UK, for example, Comenius projects, diverse projects that was focused to sport for underrepresented sports like women football and things like that. And then McNair, University of Central Florida, Orlando, when they are preparing food for homeless people. And for example, one in Kenya, One Horizon, where they are involved in Maasai groups and helping to connect some food and some money for them. So in general, all those projects are very important. They started with education, they have volunteering contracts, and also volunteering records. The number of volunteering hours during those years is changing from time to time. Why? Because the number of hours and number of volunteers depends on volunteering projects. For example, during Challenge in 2020, we had a little bit less volunteers and volunteering hours recorded at the faculty. Why? Because our volunteers went straight to Sisak, to Petrinja, and they are volunteering in those Red Cross or other organizations. So challenges that we are all faced with are earthquake, COVID, pandemic, online classes, and we also have volunteering students who are helping, for example, our students with disabilities who have problem because they have, for example, dyslexia, or they're blind or deaf or something like that, and then other students are volunteering and helping them to complete the program. So what is the general situation in Croatia? I would just step a little bit back to explain what's going on with our young people, with our students. According to research done by Professor Jokić Begić and psychologists from Department of Psychology, they noticed that approximately half of the people, not only young people, but also adults, children, are facing with depression, facing with anxious, and facing with stress. And here is extremely important to keep those information in mind. So what is also going on during that traumatic experience, our cognitive functions are a little bit less, how to say, we are a little bit less focused on them, and our emotions are always always something that is focused to our motivation, focused on our attitudes, and so on and so on. So first of all, this is something that we are always faced at, for example, our psychological chamber of psychology, and our professionals are always sharing information about that problems. What is also the problem? The problem is that we have a lot of instructions and education how to talk with people who are faced, for example, losing their families or lost their house, and so on and so on. And it's always easier to talk about this cognitive level, but about emotions. People who are not professionals, they are doing sometimes mistakes, not because they want to do mistakes, but because they don't have enough education. For example, one mistake that we are always talking with our clients, when you say to client or to somebody, I understand how do you feel. That's wrong, because you can never ever understand how somebody feels who lost a house or who lost a family member. Something that you can say, okay, I can see that you are feeling bad. I can see that it's a very hard time for you. I can see or I can hear, but I can't understand because I don't have this experience. So things like that are extremely important, and that's something that is faced with education. So what are we doing at the faculty? For example, we have a free psychological counseling center for our students, and I'm one of them who is running that psychological counseling center, and a lot of students are coming with the problems. Not they don't worry for themselves as much as they worry for their family, for their grandparents, mother, father, and so on and so on. Then second, we try to buy, or we bought free equipment like laptops because they can't go to online teaching. Also, we have flexible deadlines for their exams, and something that we are very proud, our students are printing visors for for people in hospital, for people in kindergartens, in local community, and so on and so on, and also collecting financial aid, and all of that was on volunteering basis. So things that we are trying to do, we try to ensure the psychological support, and for, that is according to public law, according to people that have all training that we need, that they need to have, and then to help local community people. Then student union, our students are extremely active. They are organizing humanitarian or charity online concerts. They are volunteering during blood donations, and also something that was extremely popular and still is extremely popular, that is online gaming tournament. So all those computer games are available for people who would like to participate, and they can donate some money for students from CSAT, from Petrinja, and so on and so on. And at the end, something that's extremely important, we have more and more students with disabilities, and we always try to ensure support, something like peer support, that are students who are trained particularly for supporting people who are blind, or students that have problems with mobility and things like that. And they have one special course, that's a peer support course for students with disability, and they are working with our students that need special adjustments according to their special needs. And at the end, last thing that our students are doing, that's online volunteering, because sometimes you're just not able to enter somebody's house because of COVID pandemic and so on. So you can always do online volunteering. It's something that we started before COVID. Our students went to Center for Elderly People, and they teach or educate or train people how to, for example, use Skype, how to use email, how to communicate through, I don't know, Big Blue Button or Zoom or something like that. And we are very proud that our students get national award for volunteering as the best organizer of volunteering in Republic of Croatia. That was 2013. They get a lot of different awards. For example, award from Varaždin City, awards from our rector, then from our Rotary Club. So volunteering is something that is very well recognized in our local community, and this is opportunity for me to say thank you all that make this happen. And at the end, volunteers are not paid because they are worthless, but because they are priceless. That's something that we all know, and I'm more than happy to be part of that volunteering activity. Here are some references, and thank you very much, and greetings from Varaždin.
Professor, thank you very much for this presentation. To show us how students can be engaged, how they can be gaining work experience, as well as benefiting the community, and as well gaining a sense of self-worth at the same time. It was quite interesting. We're now moving to our final presentation for today. And it's going to be about the activities of the Red Cross of Varaždin County and their action in Petrinja. So Nebojša, I pass the floor to you. So feel free to introduce yourself and begin.
Thank you very much. Well,
Sorry? We had a technical difficulty. We're just going to start over.
Okay, let's start again. Hello to everybody. I'm Nebojša Buđanovac, and I'm director of the Red Cross Society of Varaždin County. I will be talking about activities of our volunteers during the simulation of the consequences of the earthquake, which happened on the 29th of December 2020 in Petrinja, Sisak, and Sisačko-Moslavačka county. So it was a very strong earthquake, unfortunately. It was very, very devastating for those areas. And we had started with our activities some 5 minutes after the earthquake. I was on the line with our volunteer coordinator, Snježana Rusman, and I also talked to the director of the City Society of Red Cross of Ludbreg, Mirjana Jerbić, who offered to us her vehicle for 7 persons. So we had an intervention team of 7 persons, which was gathered in few hours, but we also made a schedule for the other days. So we had many people who were able and ready to go there on the first day, but we had a job to make an assessment of the situation in Petrinja and the vicinity. So we agreed to send there a first team of seven persons, and we were the first in the earthquake area because some of people from the Croatian Red Cross were there already because another earthquake happened few days before, but we were the first intervention team who went there. And we went there on 30th of December 2020. So our first mission was to analyze the situation and to see the extent of the damage that happened in this earthquake. And of course, our main task was to provide psychosocial help and support. And on the first day, we had some 30 conversations with people who were placed in the barracks near Petrinja. Those were people whose houses were destroyed. And we made a plan for the next days. So this was like in the first day. The picture on the right is this barracks, and you can see our team which went there on the first day. So the second day, we had 14 members of the team with 3 vans. Our task now was a little bit different. Now we knew the situation, and now we needed to provide some hope to the citizens who were hit the worst with this earthquake. So our 3 vans were filled with food, water, and other supplies. Half of our team remained in the barracks and kept working with those people, and half of the team went to all the villages in the vicinity of Petrinja, and we tried to find people who were most in need for our supplies. And also we talked to the people who lost their houses. We visited some 20 villages on that day. It was very hard and very, as you see, many houses were destroyed utterly. In village called Majske Poljane, 5 people were killed, and most of our psychosocial support were provided there in this village. But also there were other villages which were hit very hard. On the third day, this was the new year, 17 of our members continued their work in the barracks and in Petrinja and vicinity. We had some 60 conversations on that day. We visited some 12 villages, and we saw the, what kind of problems did they have in those days. So you see, we worked on night also. One of the riskiest jobs that we had was to talk to the elderly people who were trying to stay in their houses, which were very, very heavily damaged in the earthquake. And our task was to make them see that they need to evacuate those houses. And we had several very, very risky situations there. You see, we also cooperated with the Mountain Rescue Service and with firemen and so on. But for example, we had one old woman who was hiding in her house because she thought they want to drag her out, and her house was almost destroyed. And no one even knew that she was in there. And I went in that house to find out, because some neighbors suspected that she is still inside. And I found her. She was hiding in the, one small room in her house. And I talked to her, and she wouldn't, she wasn't ready to leave her house. So we needed to call the ambulance, and they talked her out and took her to the barracks. And the next day, that house collapsed because there were many earthquakes after the first one. I think several hundreds or even thousands of earthquakes. So we had a risky job. On the fourth day, there were 12 team members included. We were there the whole day, from the morning to the evening. And we also had good cooperation with the Red Cross headquarters, which were situated in the barracks. So all our reports went there. Now, some of them had containers already, and we also tried to save as many animals as we could, because there were many dogs on the chain which were left behind. And we tried to release them and to feed them and, to help them to survive. I think that our volunteers saved several dozens of animals. This lamb here is also one of the animals that we helped to survive, because we acquired the food for it. On the fifth day, we had the most intensive day because there were many crisis interventions. It was the day that one volunteer, not from our team, but one of the spontaneous volunteers, died in Petrinja. He fell from the roof. And we also provided psychosocial support to the people who were with him. It was very, very intense day. I remember that I went home in the evening together with our volunteers, and we were utterly exhausted, utterly. So when you have 8 crisis intervention in one day, it is very, very hard to recover after that. And The next day was Monday, and we sent there a team of 4 volunteers who were there for 5 days. And after that, most of activities were planned for the next 2 months. And in the end, on the 15th of February, our team was changed, replaced with other teams. So we were there about a month and a half every day. And over 50 of our volunteers participated in those interventions. There were some 5,000 volunteer hours during this time, because we had all of Petrinja and the vicinity in our responsibility. There are some other pictures of our team members. We did many things there. We don't have now enough time to talk about all of those activities. But one important thing that I need to say is that although there are many members of our team active, over 50 as you see, we concluded that we need more young people in our team. So one of the results of the experience that we have in this earthquake crisis is that we decided to start one program of education for our young crisis intervention members, and it is called School for Heroes. So we will try to educate some 15 or 20 young people to become also psychosocial support providers. And this project will start very soon. So we will have a new generation which will be able to respond on every crisis like this one. Very, very complex crisis, of course, because all the time we needed to take measures related to COVID-19 also. So this is very short presentation. I could talk for hours about this, but another thing that I need to stress, to emphasize, is to say that all those people, you know, when everything is all right, you won't be able to see them in the way that they they shine in those situations. You know, in everyday situations, they are common, usually people. But when crisis hit, they really become heroes. And those heroes really saved a lot of people in Petrinja and the vicinity. So I want to thank them in this way and to say that volunteers are really priceless. Thank you very much.
Yes, I will stop sharing.
Okay, just to maybe mention something that we just submitted in the chat, you'll notice that there is a Google form that was sent by Sunčica. And this Google form that's here above, we'd like everyone to fill it in just to rate the event that we organized here today, and to get your feedback about what you think is good, what you think might need improvement, and other things. So we'd like everyone here to fill that in whenever, hopefully as soon as you can. Because, well, I do, just to end off this event, you've heard a lot about how our partners are promoting volunteering, how volunteering is being conducted in different European countries. But what we'd like to do to end off with is to have one more short interactive survey with you, and it's about what it means to you to be a volunteer. So we want to learn more about your own opinions, your own perceptions about what volunteering means to you in your community. So once again, we have another Slido. So one moment, I'm just going to give you the link. So I'd like you to go back to that original website that we had at the start of the event. So I put it in the text box here. And once again, you'll see this screen. So in this part where it says joining as a participant, you're going to have to put in a new code, and I'll type that here in the chat. And that code number is 840764. Okay. And once you do that, you should see the screen that I see here. So here's so we're going to have 5 questions in total, and basically there is no right or wrong answer. So in my opinion, volunteering means to me dedicating my time and energy free of charge to a specific cause or action, gaining new experiences and knowledge, gaining new contacts that contribute to future employment, or all of the above. So we'd like everyone to answer that. Okay, I'm going to show now some of the poll results to begin with. Okay. Okay. So we'll go on to the next question here. Okay, one moment. So if I commit to volunteering in a local action, I expect the following from the organizer of an action, so the person leading it. First, clear instructions from the leader about the task that need to be performed, access to equipment and supplies that will help me to complete my tasks, transportation, free meals, and other forms of compensation, a letter of recommendation from the organizer. So please select the 2 answers that you feel are the best. Okay. Okay, I'm going to just show the poll results. Okay. All right. Moving on. The reasons why I would volunteer in an association or a specific action is, so you can pick 2 options: help others in need in my community, gain professional experience for my career, to have fun, to change my routine. One thing I will mention is that all these answers are anonymous. We have no idea who's saying what. So be as honest as you can. All right. And here's some of the answers that we have here. So help others in need in the community for sure. Okay. Okay. Oh, sorry. I moved a bit too far. I'm just going to do that. So this is a question about COVID. During the COVID-19 pandemic, I have volunteered in local actions that have benefited my community. I have been interested in volunteering locally, but I have not yet taken part in any actions due to other obligations, or I have been cautious about volunteering in general due to the risk of infection and have not volunteered since the pandemic began. So we'd appreciate your answer on that. Okay. Okay. All right. And now going on to the last one. This is the last question here. So concerning access to information on volunteer opportunities in my community during the pandemic, it is easier than before to find information. It's the same as before. Access to information on volunteering and volunteer opportunities has remained the same. It's harder than before to find information on volunteer opportunities. So please choose the most appropriate answer for you. Okay. All right. And that ends our poll. So we really thank you very much. We'd like to thank you all for sharing your thoughts about volunteering, as well as your thoughts about the role of the EU in promoting volunteer actions. We would like to also send out a special thanks to all of our partners, as well as our local partners that presented today. So we know that everyone has a lot on their minds, and we appreciate your contribution to this first day. So as I mentioned before, we would like to maybe field some questions from the audience here about perhaps about a particular action, perhaps about one of the presentations. So the floor is open to any questions from the audience. All right. Okay. I understand that.
Sorry,
yeah, I guess it's getting a little late. So, all right. I guess we will end things now. So to our partners, our partner organizations. So we have a technical meeting tomorrow that will start at 9 a.m. So we look forward to seeing you at this meeting. And for our other participants that came here today, shared their experiences, we greatly appreciate your contribution, and we look forward to going further with this project and to move forward with volunteering in Europe. So thank you very much, and we wish you all a nice day. Lana, would you maybe want to say a final word?
That's maybe with a mask off. Well, I'm not going to be very long, because I think that we really finished on time. It's 12 o'clock. Thank you very much. I think that presenting your institutions and organizations is of an asset. Why? Not only because of this project, but also because of building networks. And we are thinking of new projects, even in the same domain, volunteering. I think this is a very, very important part in our society, especially today. So I would also like to thank very much to all the participants from other institutions that are not directly our partners on the project, but are our partners in our cities and municipalities. So we are also inviting you to join us on our next events, because we are going to need good practices. We are going to need your knowledge and your experiences in order to really create great outputs. For the time being, thank you very much. I wish you a great, nice and successful day. Keep safe. And for the project partners, we are meeting you tomorrow at 9 o'clock at the same place online. Have a great day, and yes, bye.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
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 All right.
Bye.